Hello folks, hello, good evening, good to see you all. Yeah, these are images, live feed from Cuba, where the whole island is in blackout without power, so you can only imagine how difficult that must be right now. And this is a live camera in Cuba that's showing us the scenes there, and I wanted you guys to be able to see firsthand what's going on there. And the power grid has been crippled since they had a hurricane called Rafael. So yeah, there's no power there at all on the whole island, in the whole place. So these are the scenes, and occasionally you see these tremendous fault lightning lighting up the place, but pretty much everywhere in this city is completely dark and completely black. It must be quite a scary thing to go through, but you can occasionally see the car headlights driving down the road, and one or two lights, maybe generators on there. I don't know, I assume like hospitals and things have got generators, I'm not sure. But yeah, some people sometimes have some generators. That might be why the camera's working, someone asked. So I don't know, but this is a complete blackout in Cuba right now. There is no power, and the grid is completely crippled. So I think they're trying to get it back on, but it's been completely gone nationwide for tonight. So yeah, these are scenes that we're seeing here. It's been in the news lately. Obviously they had this big Hurricane Rafael, and caused a lot of problems. You can still see the remnants of the storm flashing around every now and then, as I said. But yeah, they don't have any power, and it's an ongoing situation. So complete blackout, apart from the car lights and things like that. But yeah, this is a live feed that we have licensed here, and we get this coverage. But there we go. It's finished. That was good timing. Anyway, I wanted to bring those scenes. Unfortunately, the feed has finished there, I believe. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that situation there. I thought it would be on longer than that. We should have started a bit earlier. It started about 40 minutes ago, but yeah, that's finished now. But anyway, that was the situation in Cuba. If we have any more to come on with, we'll come on again when it comes back. But for now, we'll leave it there. But that's the situation in Cuba. I'll be back soon if there's any more updates or any more live feeds here. So yeah, other than that, we do have the usual feed in Lebanon. There's not a lot going on tonight, so I wasn't going to come on tonight, but I think soon I will. On Tuesday, it's the COP event. You know, the climate change event. I think I'm going to cover that as well. The world leaders going to this COP 20. What is it? COP 29. I think it's COP 29 on Tuesday. So I think I'm going to cover that to show this big climate agenda. That's a big one on Tuesday. So that's on Tuesday. So look out for that. We'll have some live links to that event, so we can watch the climate agenda there. But yeah, there's not a lot, as you can see, there's not a lot going on in Lebanon tonight in the Middle East, which is a good thing, essentially. So I don't know about the rest of Lebanon, but if I have anything to come on with tonight, I will. But I'm really thinking of taking a night off unless there's anything else worth covering tonight. So there was. I just wanted to show you the live events in Cuba. So how are you all doing before I go? How are you all doing? Good to see you all. Good to see you, Mud. And Jeremiah. I'm just editing a video as well, a normal video, so been kind of doing that, and I've got a bit of the flu come back slightly again, probably because we stayed up so late on the election night, so got some of that flu back, unfortunately. I mean, I could try and bring you some more images from Cuba. Yeah, I know Novus Ildo Seclorum. I don't know if you saw that post. I'm going to be putting a few things of that in this video I'm editing as a normal video. In terms of this Golden Age stuff and... Thank you, Southern Take. That's good. I know when I went to America, there was a few people that would say, "Could you repeat that in your British accent?" Because they like to hear the British accent when I went there. No, I think I can. Yes, it was Hurricane Rafael. There's just been no power in Cuba, complete blackout nationwide. I could try and get some more images from Cuba. I think if I do this, I'll be able to do this actually, just so people can see the latest from Cuba. Let's see if I can. Right. Okie dokie. Let me try and sort this out. I think I'll be able to bring you guys the. Okay. Okay, yeah, that works. So I'm just going to do this, and I'll be able to bring it this way. So I'll leave you guys with this images from Cuba. So hope you benefit from seeing it. Actually, give me a second. Give me a second. I just need to sort this out. Actually, give me a second. Oh, now you're going to hear an echo. Now you're going to hear an echo. Sorry. Yeah, give me a second. I just need to sort this out because we had an issue with the feed, and I think I'll be able to do it like this, so you can see it. This is the only way I'm able to do it. Give me a second. Right. And then I turn the microphone off. There we go, folks. As you see, that is the end of the stream there. That was coverage of the blackout in Cuba. So I'm just trying to bring this to the top. Okay. Yeah, so that's the blackout in Cuba. Let me just try and sort this out. Sorry about this. But yeah, so there was a hurricane in Cuba, just to let you know. I'm just trying to sort this out. There was a hurricane in Cuba, and it basically caused a blackout, and there's no power on the whole place. So yeah, a difficult situation out there. And someone we were talking on here, and apparently there is, the hurricane is on its way. It could be a Category 3 again, someone was saying, but I need to have a look at that. But it's heading out somewhere, possibly towards Mexico, and have a look on the news of that. But yeah, so that's the situation in Cuba, and I just thought I'd bring you some coverage of that, because of the difficult situation out there. As you could see on the stream, there absolutely nothing apart from maybe one or two small generators. And someone was asking about why there is the camera, how the camera was working. Well, of course, maybe they've got a battery pack or something. But it must be really difficult. I was thinking there as I was watching that, what have I got if the power was to go completely here nationwide? And what have I got to, to see myself through that? I don't actually have a camping stove. I don't have any candles. I don't have, anything to cook with, or anything else to get by. So if there was no power, so I'm just sort of thinking, well, actually, you don't really sometimes think about that, do you? And maybe it's worth being a bit wise and prepared about that. So I just haven't really even thought about that situation, and I suppose there's people in Cuba haven't either, some of them. But it makes you think, doesn't it? Camping gear and that, it's a good idea to have it. So I can see your comments on the live feed now, but it is good to have like a battery pack to charge your phone, isn't it? And also a camping stove. A camping stove to cook some food on, maybe a lighter and some matches and candles so you can see where you're going, at the very least. So I think I'll invest in something like that. So yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. This was just to really show you what's going on in that situation in Cuba. Hopefully they will get the power back. It must be incredibly difficult to deal with what they're going through. So there was a hurricane called Rafael. This week, and it was a Category 3, I believe. Blimey, can you hear that on the Lebanon feed there? Tank, I think that's tank fire. Wow. I think that's tank fire, because I've heard that before. Yeah, this is Lebanon. We've just gone live to Lebanon now, as this situation in Lebanon unfolds. But Watchman Stuff 88 says, "You're Aussie, man." No, I'm not. Sorry, that's quite loud, isn't it? No, I'm not Aussie. I'm English. Let's try and turn that down a bit. I'm not Aussie. I'm English. There is quite similarities in the accent between the English and the Aussies, because a lot of the original when they, you know, Australia was a part of the British Empire. It was actually used as a prison island for criminals from London, I believe. So I think there's a lot of similarities with the sound or the accent, mate, because it's the London twang that's part of the Australian accent. So sometimes people even here have said to me, "Are you from Australia?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just from down the road." This sort of area near London does sound a bit Aussie at times. But fallen exposure. Let me. You asked me a question. Let me just, in terms of a point of discussion, it's not just about me, but you know, I just wanted to. What was that? Oh, there's the tank fire again, folks. If you can hear that. Oh wow. You hear that? No, the tank fire is not in Cuba. The tank fire is in Lebanon. This is Lebanon. I'm going to change. I'll change the. I'll check because the Cuba camera is finished for now. So I'll just change this to Middle East conflict continues. Yeah, this is in Lebanon. Sorry, this is not Cuba. No. Sorry about that. I should have made that clearer. I don't believe there's tank fire in Cuba. Yeah, I know. Yeah, had a tank fire in Cuba. That would have been strange. So no, I was the fallen exposure. They were just sent me a few questions. Just talking about the digital ID, whether they think the digital ID might eventually be used on the border. That's a good question. I don't know. Has anyone else thought about that? Do you think that that's... I mean, it certainly seems to be going that way in general, doesn't it? When you look at the passports and, you know, the passports all having a chip in them now. And all of ours do anyway. I don't know about yours in America, but all of ours have a chip in them. The digital... I mean, it's turning into the digital ID, isn't it, gradually? All the passports you get here now have a chip in them. It says on the front page, well, in the front cover of the passport, it has a little chip sign underneath the word passport, and it just indicates it has a chip in the passport. And then you look at the back page and you see that it's like a... Well, wow, that's loud. You have you look at the back page and then you see like it's got a microchippy thing in the back page. And so that's pretty much standard now in our passports. So gradually you can see it going that way. And also, I don't know if any of you follow the Rise Facebook. I posted a video which I saw earlier, and I posted it on the Facebook, and I can put the Facebook link in here if you're interested, if you are on Facebook. And it's basically a clip from China. Some British guy goes into China and he's really excited. He goes into this shop in this store to buy his groceries, and he's all excited and he's like, "Oh, China is so far ahead. China's so far ahead. Look at me, I can go into the store and I forgot my phone and I forgot my credit card and I can just pay with my hand." And he just basically waves his hand over this device in the shop, and it pays the bill with his hand biometrically. So, and his wife goes, "Oh, this is really amazing. You know, I think it like uses the blood vessels, and it allows you to pay with your hand because it's linked to his phone." So I don't know how it works, and they're just like head over heels saying that this is wonderful technology. This is absolutely amazing. And we're all sort of watching here going, I don't know about that. I don't think this is going in a good direction, is it? So, Yeah, they just seem head over heels, like China is so advanced and so far ahead, it's amazing. And I just don't think it's good. I mean, in the UK, we've got to the point now, at least, where you've got these Amazon stores where you get into the store, the grocery store, by using your phone on the entrance, and it opens it up for you. And you know how payments are kind of going onto your cell phone, but to get into this store in the Amazon one, you can scan your phone on the entrance, and it opens the gate for you to get in. So that's something that's been happening here. But oh yeah, and Fallen Exposure says the social credit score is like something out of Black Mirror. Yeah, don't China have things like that, don't they? The social credit score stuff where, well, if you don't behave yourself, you can switch this off and switch that off, and it's very scary stuff. But yeah, so I was just yeah, I mean, you can see the digital ID come in. I'm just reading your comment, Fallen Exposure. It may be a digital ID for voter ID, biometric surveillance to protect the border. What say you? Will the technocracy rise? And then also you got the thing with, when I read your comment earlier, I was thinking, well, the thing with Elon Musk as well, who was kind of mentioned a few times in Trump's election speech. But Elon Musk is doing his Neuralink, and he did his tests on the brain chip, didn't he, a few months ago. Where was it that Elon Musk did his... He did his first... Didn't he do his first test on the Neuralink? Oh, now it's... Oh, yeah, this is... Unfortunately, this is CNN. I don't usually go on here, but just for now. Elon Musk's Neuralink is seeking a second person to test its brain chip. Neuralink first human brain chip implant malfunctioned. Oh, I never saw that. Elon Musk's brain implant startup Neuralink is accepting applications for a second human trial participant to test its device, the billionaire said on X Friday. The request comes 5 months after Neuralink implanted a brain chip into its first human trial participant, 30-year-old Noland Arbour, and just a week after the company admitted that his implant had experienced an unexpected problem. Neuralink said that the threads connecting the chip to Arbour's brain had retracted, causing performance issues, although the company said it made adjustments to improve its function. Still, Arbour says the implant, which allows him to control a computer cursor with his brain, has changed his life. Arbour has been a quadriplegic since 2016 following a driving accident. So yeah, they must have tested it on this guy that had these issues. Neuralink is seeking more people like Arbour to test out his brain chip. Ultimately, Neuralink's ambition is to use implants to connect human brains to computers to help, for example, paralyzed people. So they're talking about the health benefits of it there. But do you think that it's something that could essentially sort of start off in a way that seems reasonable or seems good and then kind of get worse? Because don't you think sometimes these things, I'm not saying I know the future, but don't you think sometimes these things come in with like a reasonable explanation and a virtuous reason, and then it can end up getting to, you know, more than that, and then it just grows and grows and grows. Do you think that's something that could happen? Fallen Exposure says, I think it could evolve into the hive mind. And Nikki H says, going to be used for evil at some point. But that's the thing. Musk has his Tesla electric cars and Neuralink and dearie. But the thing is that yeah, David says technology can be used for good or evil, but I just don't like the idea of chips in brains. I don't know. For me, you know, I just think it's not a good direction personally. especially due to how it could be abused, right? I mean, and the kind of like scary implications of things like this is just. Lissy says it's all for healing right now and convenience. But yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It just, some of these things, they start somewhere and then incrementally they can get worse, right? So that's just my own concerns with it, and yeah, that's my own concerns with it. I'm just looking up more about Neuralink here. Here's one. How Elon Musk's 130 million investment in Trump's victory could reap a huge payoff for Tesla and the rest of his business empire. Trump spent a hefty portion of his scattered victory speech thanking Musk, who has recently spent more than 130 million and a lot of time and tweets to the conservative political cause. In particular, Trump had high praise for Musk's rocket company SpaceX and its Starlink internet satellites, two business units ripe for government contracts. Does it mention Neuralink in here? Oh yeah. As founder of brainchip company Neuralink, Musk has criticised lengthy approval processes by the FDA for new drugs and medical devices, claiming that overregulation kills people. Still, Musk's vision for a widespread government efficiency would likely target the FDA too, and potentially get his Neuralink speedier approvals. So far, Neuralink has implanted brain devices in 2 patients with FDA approval. Sorry, is the wind quite loud? Yeah, and that's the thing. It's breezy, is it? and that's the thing, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is benefits to these things. There's, if technology can help people that are disabled, for example, that's a good use of it, But it just concerns me, stuff like this, because of where it could lead, and how it can, with all these things, they can have a snowball effect, can't they, in terms of it starts out as one thing and then incrementally gets it gets worse, and then it can become something it never was said to be at the beginning, or for uses that it never was said to be at the start. And that's it, yeah. Fallen man is playing with this stuff. It could be great, it could be good and it can be God's grace to give us things that are helpful to us, but give man the wisdom to make certain developments. But at the same time, and also, I don't know what Mark is and all that, but it just some of this concerns me. Being able to can't buy or sell without the mark. But I don't know what that is exactly. None of us know precisely at this stage, but just being vigilant. Okay, fair enough. Right. This says Elon Musk wants to implant millions of people with Neuralink brain chips. Billionaire's comments come after neurotech startup unveils new capabilities of its brain-computer interface. Elon Musk hopes to implant millions of Neuralink chips into people's brains over the next decade, the tech billionaire has said. The Neuralink chief executive announced his plans following an update from the neurotech startup that revealed new capabilities of its brain-computer interface. According to the firm, the second patient to be fitted with the device was able to use it to play first-person shooter games and design three-dimensional objects. If all goes well, there will be hundreds of people with Neuralinks within a few years, maybe tens of thousands within 5 years, millions within 10 years, Mr. Musk wrote on X in response to Neuralink's blog post. Neuralink said that the latest participant in its first ever human study of the technology was able to perform new tasks using their thoughts, such as designing 3D objects using computer-aided design software. He was also able to play a first-person game that typically requires two separate joysticks to control the character. Just running around is enjoyable because I can look side to side, he said. I can think about where to look and it goes where I want it to. It's insane. Potential applicants include streaming music directly to the brain and improving eyesight to view new parts of the light spectrum, according to Mr. Musk. However, some neuroscientists claim such capabilities are decades away and come with risks of hacking and cyber attacks. Neuralink said it now plans to add improved functionality to the brain implants used in the human trials, developing new algorithms that can recognize handwriting intent in order to enable faster text entry. Additionally, we plan to enable the link to interact with the physical world, allowing users to feed themselves and move more independently by controlling a robotic arm or their wheelchair. I swear I remember seeing, like, years ago when we used to do the YouTube videos, like 8 years ago, I swear I remember seeing a patent on Google for being able to communicate with monitored brain activity. I put that in a video like a long time ago, like 8 years ago. Yeah, I'd have to have a look and find that again. I think it was something like this. Yeah, okay, I think it was something like this. Yeah, see, that says worldwide applications 1998. Does that mean that's when it first... Is that when it first was on here? So I'm just going to look at your comments. Yeah, so 1998... But yeah, it's just talking about communication system and method including brainwave analysis and or use of brain activity. A system and method for enabling human beings to communicate by way of their monitored brain activity. The brain activity in an individual is monitored and transmitted to a remote location, e.g. by satellite. At the remote location, the monitored brain activity is compared with pre-recorded normalized brain activity curves, waveforms or patterns to determine if a match or substantial match is found. If such a match is found, then the computer at the remote location determines that the individual was attempting to communicate the word, phrase or thought corresponding to the match stored normalized signal. What's that? I mean, I remember putting that in a video like 8 years ago. 1998 it says here. And so that's how long ago is that? So anyway, that's very strange stuff, isn't it? And we saw this like image of the beast type thing, didn't we, with the AI in that video I made, that ritualistic thing we showed recently. And I can show you if you saw it, but I can show you on here actually.
Well, yeah.
This I don't know if you saw this, but this whole shenanigans here, you know, with this ritualistic thing that was at this sporting event recently, and you see the AI was like this AI thing, and it was like the image of the beast type depiction there, and all these people going around in you know, white gowns around this unfinished Tower of Babel, or maybe it's like a destroyed Tower of Babel. I don't know. You know, maybe after it's been judged and they're trying to rebuild it or something. But and they had the Hindu gods, the Shiva and everything, and replicated the Tower of Babel. But part of this thing that they did here, if I skip forward a bit, is, well, and actually this Tower of Babel stuff they've been doing for so long. This was at the Millennium Dome in London, like in the year 2000, and I remember going to this as a kid, and it was just this was in the centre of this millennium. It's now the O2 Arena, but they built it for the Millennium, and it's just basically like this show they had in the centre, and it's just this like Tower of Babel that starts to get built and then it gets destroyed. I might do show that in a video properly at some point, but you know, they were doing that in the year 2000, and yeah, I remember going to that show, and there's some really weird things about that. I don't want to go too deep in the rabbit hole, but this was the year before 9/11, and yeah, when it gets destroyed in the actual footage and it gets brought down, and it has all these explosions coming out the sides as it's coming down. It's very weirdly like what happened a year later, but that's, you know, I don't want to go into that rabbit hole stuff, but it's just very, very strange, ritualistic, weird things that they do. Anyway, I won't go into that, but yeah, so Tower of Babel depictions, like this new Genesis, the third strand thing, the manipulation of the building blocks of life, which I won't say the name of here, but you know, this kind of whole agenda that they have, really. But I wanted to show you this because of the technology, the way that as they do this ritualistic dance thing around this machine in the center, they begin to rebuild this Tower of Babel through digital means, like transhuman digital means, essentially. And they, you know, they as that happens, they show this matrix symbolism, kind of transhumanist stuff, where if I scan forward a bit, you see it all kind of goes matrixy, and then basically they have this image of the beast type. Thing going on, and it the big face, which is like an AI, and it basically comes to life as they're building this Tower of Babel. You'll see it here. God confused the languages in Babel, and he
judged it. So this is kind of the new Babel, and that's all that really matters of what they're symbolizing here. So as this matrix symbolism starts to take place, you see these eyes appear on the tower. And actually this is an AI face, almost like a possible image of the beast face or something that's being represented. I don't know for sure, but it seems like it. The AI technology, remember, these things are not prophecies or anything that I'm saying here. I'm not saying this denotes Bible doctrine. I'm just saying what they are ritualistically showing when they're doing these things. So this doesn't exist without the singularity, the summary of human intelligence, the summary of humanity, of rebellious humanity. I'm the result of your curiosity. I'm your will. So it's the singularity, folks. It's the summary of human existence. It's the AI supercomputer, the superintelligence, and the summary, the unity of rebellious humanity. And then you see finally it actually connects. You actually have the completed tower reaching up to the heavens, and it's been completed by transhumanist means. Remember, technology can be used for good or bad, and this is obviously where it's leading in the sense of it being bad, but we can still use technology as a tool in the right way to do what needs to be done and to use it for good. And they come together at the end on the top of the tower, and they all kind of put their hands up, singing, putting their hands up in the air, worshipping this thing, almost like worshipping the beast. And then above the tower comes this very beastly image of these eyes made with the drones, and it's almost like the beast or something that is being worshipped, like it says in the book of Revelation, the whole world will worship the beast. So if you're not in Christ, if you don't believe in Jesus, if you've not been saved, redeemed, if you've not had your sins forgiven, if you've not prayed for him to save you by his death and resurrection on behalf of your sins, Jesus died for you, you will fall prey to this agenda if you're not born again. So you have to be born again and receive God's Spirit and be saved from your sins and adopted into his family. That's the only way you're not going to fall prey to this deception. Please, if you haven't done already, please lay your life down at his feet and say, Lord.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we were showing there, really. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, what they're kind of flaunting in these propaganda pieces where they're doing these things just so blatantly. So it's a bit concerning about what's going on, isn't it? It's a bit concerning. And I don't know if you remember, that was very similar to the do you remember the New Year's Eve? Do you remember the New Year's Eve celebrations that came, where they were showing these very similar things, which I'll show you here. Where they were showing very similar things in terms of the... Well, that's Burning Man. Very similar things with the drones and the AI transhumanist stuff. I'm going to see what's going on this year at the New Year's Eve to see if there's anything similar. But this particular New Year's Eve, there was just so many of these similar types of themes in a few different shows across the world where they had all these binary codes and matrix transhumanist stuff. Let me show you that.
Into the matrix, and you saw forming out of the matrix this same type of face, this transhuman AI face coming out of the matrix for this 2023 celebration. So we're going into a lot of these transhuman themes about the rise of the machine. And then in Busan in South Korea, we had the same type of transhuman face with the letters AI displayed in its head. And then behind it, you notice the ones and zeros, the binary code. Now, I don't claim to know exactly how AI or this type of technology may be playing into end times prophecy in the Bible, but it is what it is. You know, it is there and it is growing. And we see this all over the place now. And some people liken it to the image of the beast and all these different things. But I'm just saying that we are in a time where this is beginning to rise up. So in Dubai again, we have this figure who had the sun rays around its head. And I thank you, Jay, for pointing this out. In Dubai, you see he's got like the Oculus goggles, the virtual reality goggles, and the sun rays around its head in Dubai at the beach. And I want to point out that it is like the Uberman. And this is something I'm going to point out in a video coming to this channel soon, that this is all about that same philosophy of Nietzsche, essentially the Uberman, the Übermensch, the next stage in human evolution, and how that was also a Nazi pursuit. And after that philosophy of Nietzsche, this new age of enlightenment, hello future, it says in Abu Dhabi. And just to point out here, which is pretty interesting, I mean, this shows it's not about the God of Abraham. You see in the center there, you've got Horus, the sun god, the sun deity again. So this is what it's really about. And we saw this similar types of stuff with Saturn and the UFO deception as shown clearly. I think this was in 2020 at the Space Needle in Seattle. So the deception that is rising out of this technological symbolism and displays, and the needle going through manipulating the DNA strand. We saw all of that displayed in 2020. So in Dubai, enter the future last night.
Are you ready to enter the future? Select yes or no.
So yeah, you see the robots.
Yeah. It's got a bit of music there. Entering the new age of the UFOs and
Going through what maybe looks like a portal or something. You've got that same UFO symbolism about entering the future.
entering the future. And all the interconnectedness and all of that stuff.
It's all about this new system, isn't it? Going into this new world order.
Yeah.
Together, and there you go, the rays of light above his head with that Oculus virtual reality on his eyes. And there's another.
So, yeah, strange stuff, isn't it? So there's a bit of music playing it. We're talking about the Uberman and the Overman, Nietzsche and all that. Very strange stuff. A lot of sun worship things they do as well, isn't there? They seem to show a lot of Apollo and the sun worship, and this one this is in Busan. This one, it's a lot of Matrix stuff. It's not good.
Latent symbolism that fits with the same usual stuff. This transhuman new age, it's this stream going into this cube, forming this cube in the sky.
Yeah, I want to be careful of the music. Yeah, I wonder what will be on this year. Just so much stuff just seems to be agenda driven now, doesn't it? It's like there's so many of these displays and things and movies and all the things in this world now is just seems to be riddled with this similar agenda. Gets a bit samey, doesn't it?
This looks a bit like a scan of a fingerprint or something, you see? It's kind of all these symbols of entering this beast world, this beast system. This New World Order scanning the fingerprint.
There's a bit of music there. This is scanning the fingerprint. So this was 2023. What are we on now? It's nearly 2024. Well, it'd be 2025 New Year's, wouldn't it? In just a couple of months. It looks like a hand. Is that like an atom or something? That's nucleus or something that hand is manipulating there? Something like that. A lot of playing God stuff. And DNA.
The AI, into the AI. Then we have the binary code and the matrix, and this big image of the beast potentially with the AI face coming through the matrix, coming through the veil. The artificial intelligence that is gaining traction. I mean, just recently a friend of mine pointed out this artificial intelligence that is now available, that you can speak to, that doesn't just draw like Alexa on Amazon, doesn't just draw Wikipedia articles if you ask it a question, but genuinely forms AI intelligence from all across the world, from all across humanity and the computer system, and is able to have an intelligent conversation with you and learn things and grow. And we tried to catch it out. We asked it a few theological questions, which we thought, nah, there's no way it's going to answer these correctly. And it did. I can't...
Yeah, this was like already in the last, since New Year's Eve 2023, already, how far has this come? Like, when I made this, which wasn't that long ago, it was all new. But now, like, AI and Chat GPT and AI images and talking to it is all, like, relatively normalized. And it's not even that long ago that this was, like, quite groundbreaking. And was it Elon Musk was on the team for... let me just have a look on that. He was on the team that... founded was it ChatGPT? OpenAI. I think it was that one. Yeah. Yeah, in December 2015, OpenAI was founded by Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and a few others. So he was on the team that founded that. But yeah, so that wasn't even that long ago, right? So you notice how quickly it's changed. But when you ask it questions that you sometimes can try and catch it out, like this was an answer that it came up with itself at the time. What is the difference between justification and sanctification in the Bible? And couldn't really fault what it said. Couldn't fault it at all, really. So, you know, if you see that on the screen, you might not be able to, but yeah, it's just justification and sanctification are two important concepts in the Bible that are related to the salvation of believers. Justification refers to the process by which a person is declared righteous in the eyes of God based on their faith in Jesus Christ. This means that their sins are forgiven and they are granted eternal life in heaven. Sanctification, on the other hand, refers to the process by which a believer becomes more and more holy and Christ-like in their behaviour and thoughts. This is a lifelong process that begins at the moment of salvation and continues until the believer is with Jesus in heaven. So in short, justification is the act of being declared righteous by God, while sanctification is the process of becoming more like Christ. These two concepts are closely related, but they are not the same thing. Justification is a one-time event that happens when a person believes in Jesus, while sanctification is an ongoing process that happens throughout a believer's life. So, you know, couldn't really fault that. And that's what it came up with. I mean, quite surprising, really.
Can't fault the answers it gave to the theological, biblical questions that we asked it. It gave them, as far as I'm concerned, completely accurately. And how is this going to change the world when it can basically write an essay for you? How's it going to change education? How's it going to change the world when people can just ask a robot, an artificial intelligence, these questions, and it can learn things and grow from them? It just makes you wonder, doesn't it, where this is all going and how this is changing the world. And as I say, this was quite a big theme in a few displays this year at the New Year's Eve 2023 celebrations. And we skip forward and we see this kind of Uberman again, this new stage in human
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not advocating that at all. But yeah, I was just surprised by some of the things it comes out with, It's very surprising stuff.
You watch and you see that this orb goes through this tunnel. You'll see it grows and it turns into the world. It goes through space travel on the moon and it turns into the world. So again, this is a theme of this new world. And as you watch this progress, then it's from that world, that new world, that we see this transhuman image of the beast type face coming through the veil. You see the binary code, the ones and zeros. This face emerges and people cheer like they're worshipping the beast. People are enthralled. And remember the language in the book of Daniel, there's a lot of language which is relating to the alluring nature of what this will be, the fascination that people will have towards this Antichrist figure and this beast kingdom. So you can really see how people can be taken in by this already, how people can be lured in and fascinated by what is emerging upon the earth, and how the deception is going to be strong, this delusion that people that did not want righteousness, they sought after unrighteousness, they didn't want the truth, they wanted the lie. So they end up being enthralled and drawn into this deception because they didn't want the truth of the Lord Jesus Christ. They didn't want the kingdom of God and the righteousness. So this is what's happening. And in a sense, that is a judgment, really, isn't it? It's a judgment from God that those who didn't want the truth, they took pleasure in the lie. They wanted deception.
Isn't URE Isn't Ur a reference to something? Am I wrong? Oh, Ur in Babylon. Oh, it's Ur. Interesting. Just found a bit strange that it highlighted that. It highlighted that. Well, there. At the end of there, it's a bit strange. Anyway, maybe it's nothing.
Because they rejected the gospel. They rejected their creator and his salvation plan. They will run and seek after the beast kingdom. And that will be destroyed. It won't last long. This whole new world order of the Antichrist beast kingdom on the earth, it won't last long. You know, the Lord comes back and destroys it. Okay, yeah.
Right, well, anyway, so that got us onto a good topic. Thank you to Fallen Exposure for your question. That got us onto an interesting topic. Appreciate the discussion point there. Wasn't expecting to talk about all that tonight, discuss that on here. Yeah, no, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for coming on here. I want to say also, I was talking about that Millennium Dome where they had the Tower of Babel in the year 2000 in the Millennium Dome in London. I don't really like saying about 9/11 symbolism. I don't want to go in that rabbit hole, so I apologise I brought that up, because I've kind of said to myself that I'm not going to go too deep down those paths. I don't think they're always helpful and not really wise to go down certain rabbit holes. So I apologise I mentioned that. As I was saying it, I thought, well, should I say this? I shouldn't really say this. So I apologise I said that. I don't like rabbit holes and things like that. And at the end of the day, some elements of their ritualistic things are just not wise to go down, are they? I mean, so I just prefer to talk about when we show these things that go on in this culture, because that's ultimately the goal of the videos, as it's as our channel says, exposing the kingdom of darkness through real world evidences to contextualize our culture and lead souls to Christ. What Rise is doing is something called contextualization, like Wycliffe does. He is making the gospel understandable to the philosophical equivalent of a tribe in the Amazon. So that's the goal of the things that we've been doing on here anyway, to try and convey the truth, that the Bible is the truth, through showing this culture the different things that they've seen in this culture, which clearly some of them with that agenda are pointing to the fact that there is an enemy, there is truth to the Bible, and I think just by skimming the surface, shall we say, of some of that propaganda, without going into these rabbit holes, which some people in the truth movement do. They go so deep into these rabbit holes and then they spend their life basically only focused on that. That's not a good idea. There's no need to go further than you need to in terms of what the Bible says, and just basically to show that the Bible exposes these things, and you can see that through their hatred of Jesus, through their inversion of Jesus, through what the Bible has warned us about in terms of this agenda and what's coming and what's going on in this world, you can at least show them that the Bible is the truth just by skimming the surface and, just showing basically what this propaganda and social manipulation is actually about. So that really is the goal. Once you don't need to focus on that all the time. Of course, we need to read the Bible and get prepared and pray and be sanctified and discipled and edified and help each other and have discussions about the truth, and just really be warned of the deceptions and be discerning, but also growing in our understanding of who God is, because that is, once all this is said and done, God is the one clearly that's going to have the victory over all this. God is the one who is sovereign over everything, not the enemy. So he's the one that we're going to be face to face with, and he's the one we're going to spend eternity with if we're saved by Jesus. So that really is so important, isn't it? As well as discerning the agenda of the enemy to understand the ultimate goal, which is our Creator. So that's something all of us can do. I'm nothing when I do these things on here, in terms of the videos on the channel, just simply to point to the fact that the Bible's the truth over and over again, and to discern the signs of the times. That's what we are doing, and to show the Bible was true all along. The Bible already spoke about all these things thousands of years ago. So I think God is the one that's in control, because it's already written. So I hope that's encouraging. We will, as you see here, we're doing this news show. Normally we don't go into this stuff as much on the news show. I do these sort of updates on the news of world events on here with this licensed live footage, which we've been starting to do recently. And that's what we've been doing to show people world events. We've got the licenses to do this on purpose to do that from our perspective here, and to show you what is important in terms of signs of the times and the birth pangs and the different things and things to look out for, so we can have our own live news channel which is professional in that sense, where we don't need to be going to the mainstream. We can just have our own discussions and chats and hangouts with professional live links to these places. This is Lebanon, in Beirut, so we've been keeping an eye on the conflict in the Middle East and the developments there, and the concerns about Iran attacking, Iran going for Israel, etc., and all the things that have been going on recently. And we just tonight showed the blackout in Cuba. We had a live link to Cuba where the whole island, the whole place nationwide is blacked out without power. So that's quite a difficult situation out there. But, it will be whatever unfolds. Tuesday, we've got the Climate Agenda World Conference with the world leaders going there. So we might cover that on Tuesday to show the climate agenda unfold there in, I think it's in Azerbaijan. So we'll be going live there hopefully on Tuesday. I'm not sure what time that is yet, but we will hopefully be bringing you that coverage live, and also anything else in terms of world events, conflicts, extreme weather, protests, meetings, things like that. We will be doing regular live streams whenever there's something worth covering. So please do come back when you're ready. So yeah, we can basically draw attention to it. We've got to abide by the YouTube standards and have to be careful of that on here, which is fine. I just have to basically not share certain opinions and let you make your mind up for yourself. But to be honest, that's better journalism anyway, is just basically showing these things, showing these agendas, showing these events as they unfold, and letting people see it for themselves. And that's the advantage we have of having these live links, because we basically get a different one. Whenever there's something going on in the world, they tend to give us a camera quite regularly, depending what it is. So yeah, it's just really handy to have. Anyway, thanks to all the mods. Thanks to everyone for coming tonight and watching this as we saw the events unfolding in Cuba. I'm going to take a bit of a break. We did such a lot of streaming recently with the election all night, and I'm just recuperating. My flu got a little bit worse again. But, none of this is about me, folks. This is not about me. This is about providing a service for you in terms of letting you see what's going on. I'm just sort of pointing to it and hopefully being that conduit by which you can see what's going on in the world, and also discerning the times and the birth pangs and everything that's going on. So anyway, I hope it's helpful in that sense. I'm nothing, I'll get out of your way. But I hope you do enjoy tuning into the Rise Live News when we go live. Please subscribe and click the notification bell to find out next time we go live. Thanks a lot, everyone.